Hey everyone, it's Shauna Savrini here, live at Pandora's Books and Tea in Olds, and we are going to have a little Tech Tuesday talk about formatting documents. I thought that might be a great way to help you guys out with making those special PDFs that you might want to share with people. So it could be a how-to document or an instruction manual, or even just a pretty little story that you have for a family member for a special birthday present or anything like that. So I just wanted to show you some little tips and tricks on jazzing up those documents. So I'll just show you a couple of examples. These might not come out very good. So this one here, this is a black and white. We're going to talk about black and white versus color. Social media one, I've got our fancy Simple Life Celebrations lunch one that we did a long time ago. And these can all be done with existing tools that you already have. Here's a simplified pantry. I'm not sure if it's coming up backwards for you or not, but anyways, the point is that you can really jazz things up and make them really pretty. And that way you can be really professional and have a great document that you can share with people. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you, I'm going to share my screen. So I'm just going to move over to my screen share here. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to talk about the very first step when you're doing any kind of document is you should be doing a brain dump of some sort. So back when I was in high school, I used to use the little recipe cards. And so I dumped down every idea that I had for a paper that I was writing. And then I'd take those cards and I'd only write 1 or 2 sentences on each card. And then I would arrange those cards according to idea. So that way I could have my sentences all organized ahead of time before I actually sat down and wrote up the paper. So same thing goes for these kinds of documents. You want to make sure that you do I call it a brain dump. So basically you're researching, you're just throwing down ideas. There's no editing here. You just want to get those ideas down and then you're going to organize them later. So you can do that with pen and paper, as simple as that. I like to use the computer because obviously then you can cut and paste, you can move things around, whereas with pen and paper you got to actually type that in. So it's totally up to you though, whatever works best for you. A couple of the tools that I use for that brain dump, my favorite is one called Evernote. I share that link in the document that I'm going to share with you later on, but it's at evernote.com, evernote.com. That's my favorite. You can have all kinds of notebooks and stuff in there. That's really great to use. I also just use a regular Google Doc, just writing things down with just doing a whole dump there. I actually wrote my first draft of my novel with a Google document. So it's 50,000 plus words in one Google Doc, and it just dumped everything out. So there's that. You could use you can use Word if you're a real fan of Word. You can use Word, or back in the day when I was in school, there was even Word Perfect. Some of you may have that one. There's lots of different, even a basic notepad file. Just type it up, or a voice memo on your phone. The gist of it is that you need to gather that information first and then organize it. So then you can find your main ideas with that. So then you pull that apart and separate that into sections. So every document, it's like when you were in school, you should have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So same thing goes for documents that you make to share online. You want to make sure that you have an introduction telling what the document is going to be about. Then you want your body with all the nitty-gritty details. And I like to include other resources in there as well near the end. And then of course your conclusion. I also like to include an about section just to give people a little bit of more information about you. I usually put that on the last page. I learned that from a friend of mine, Leonie Dawson at leoniedawson.com. And yeah, she makes excellent documents. Hers are very colorful and fun. And every document that she makes, she's got a little about page on the end. So you can get to know her a little bit more and find out more if you want to know more. Okay, so what I'm going to do again now is share a screen. And I'm just going to show you into my, we'll go into the entire screen. You're going to see my stuff here. Share that out. Okay, oh dear, I've got crazy amounts of stuff happening here. Okay, so I didn't open my document. Hold on. In my drive. And design. Oh, there we go. Open that up. So this is just a little example of a design your own download. I actually use my tips and tricks with designing this download. So as you can see, I've got a title page. It's very important. And then we're going to scroll down. I'm going to share this document with you guys. I'll email it out to you. We've got our introduction section. We've got getting started. So those are those first steps, like I just went through right now. And then we're getting into the body. So actual tools. I've got progress, sharing some links there, and then I've got planning the pages. Every time I do this, there's a lot of noise in the background. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, it's kind of fun. So here again, we've got clear bullet points, clear headings, so people can scan through and find what they need. If your document is really long, you'll want to include a table of contents. There we go. And it's kind of funny that I used my own steps to create how to jazz up your documents. Anyway, so, and then some formatting tips and more content. And then I've got some diagrams here. So that's something else you want to think about, is whether you want your document to be landscape, so that's this way, or a portrait. So again, it depends on who you're sharing with. So you got to think about your audience. Are they going to be printing it out? Are they going to be looking at it on their phone, on their tablets? Landscape obviously works better with a wide screen. That way you can have everything fit on the screen. Or of course, portrait works great on phones or other mobile devices like iPads and stuff. So there's that to consider. So I've got some different options here, where to put pictures and text. It's nice to have lots of pictures in your documents, just because it breaks up the text for you. Using things like bullets and numbering, again, helping people with scanning. So I've got some more geeky tips and tricks here in this document, as well as some other helpful links. And then the other thing you might want to include in some of your documents, depending on what you're doing, I don't think I'm recording anymore, I'm not sure. Anyway, you might want to include in your documents or like checklists or any sort of good resources that you want for people. You can include that in the back of your document or throughout your document, depending on what the layout is. So there's that one. And then I have got a little about page on there. So that's what I was talking about, to have a little about page at the end of your document, just to help people get to know you a little bit better and find out more of your great stuff. So that's that example there. And then I wanted to show you a couple of quick little formatting tips. I'm just going to grab a new document. I'm just using Google Docs for now, but you can use Word. A lot of this stuff is the same in Word and Google Docs. It just looks a little different on the screen. So I'm just going to type, this is a list. And so then when you're looking at your toolbars, you want to see things like the numbered lists versus a bulleted list. So you want to use a lot of those kinds of things in your document, again, to break up the text, because you don't want to be too tiring. You want people to be able to skim through and get to the stuff they really want to, meat and potatoes. So one thing that people don't know about when they're doing these lists is, see how I'm done with 1, 2, 3. I don't want to have that fourth bullet. So if I backspace that, it should go down to the next line. So Word works a little bit better as far as numbers and lists go, but that's how you do that. You backspace and then enter down again. So then you can start another list below that. And this time I'm going to do a numbered list. 1, 2, 3. And again, if I enter twice, it also is another way to come down. Okay, so you've also got your formatting tools. You want to have different kinds of headings. So in Word and in Google Docs, you've got these built-in formatting. So use those built-in, like the headings and the titles, because that way when you can actually use those to then generate a table of contents. And I can show you that another time, but or you can ask me a question about that and I can get into that privately for you. I just want to give an overview here tonight, but use those built-in headings to really help you with keeping that formatting simple, and as well as help you with the actual table of contents later on. So that's that in there as well. So again, bolding. This is in a portrait format, so that's always good. The other thing, you want to use different font styles. What you need to do, and I share it in my document, is you want to make sure that you keep that formatting, whatever you decide, you want to keep it the same throughout your document. So make sure that you do that when you're formatting. And I have a little check sheet at the bottom of my document on just to make notes of what heading style you're using and what colors and what size, because there's nothing more annoying and doesn't look very professional when you have different font sizes and different formatting throughout your document. It's very distracting for the readers, so that's something that I always recommend. We're just coming up on, I'm just going to pop in, stop sharing here and see if there's any questions so far. Where is my video? Back to the video. There we go. So does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, well, I'm just about going to wrap this up. I don't see any questions there. Let me just pop into Twitter real quick. Just flip back here again. Just hold on. See if there's any questions. One new tweet. Okay, nothing there. I think we're good over there too. All right, so back to formatting your documents. So basically, make sure you get that brain dump. Just dump everything all in one place. Get all your pictures gathered up. Keep it all in one folder. That's my professional organizer talking. So if you have a certain project, a certain document that you're working on, make sure that you put that all into a nice little folder, or use a tool like Evernote or Google Docs or something, just to get a brain dump and getting all that stuff in one place. So then when you go to sit down and actually do your formatting, your layout, you just got to go and grab that stuff and plunk it in there. That'll really save you a lot of time and really let you focus on creating that really awesome looking document. So again, some of the tools you can use to do that, I've used Google Docs, Microsoft Word. You can use Google Slides. Is great for creating a layout of a document that's actually a widescreen or landscape version of your document. It depends if you want to have them printing them out or not, or showing them up on the screen. It could be any of those things. Google Slides is a great tool for that. PowerPoint, of course. Those things you can actually upload to SlideShare and share your documents that way. So I'm throwing a lot of ideas around here, and I know it's a lot to take in, but definitely if you have any questions at all, feel free to email me and ask me. My email is Shauna, SHAWNA .Sevraini, CEVRAINI @gmail.com. Feel free to email me your questions. I'd love to hear from you. You can also tweet at me. I'm at Sevra, so CEVRA on Twitter. If you'd like to contact me there, or definitely let's be friends on Facebook and let's see if I can help you out with your tech questions. So this is Shauna Sevraini in Olds, Alberta at Pandora's Books and Tea, signing off for another Tech Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you later.